my experience with Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, or aka my re-experience with the game. So, people of the internet, what's changed? My fit's changed, and also you guys are getting double my experience time because of Dragon Ball Daima, alright, episode 11, so you guys are getting that as well. But today I'm here talking about my re-experience, and by the way, welcome Lucas, and also what's up, Ronnie YT, to my re-experience with the game. So, I want to talk about this game because I feel like it is kind of important. Why did I decide to re-experience this game? Why did I even care, about it? Like, what's going on? What happened? You already said it was a crap game, like, not Omega Longa, right? So, then I said this game was crap. I said Castlevania 3 was shit the first time, was because I got stuck, if I remember correctly. And I remember getting stuck. By the way, ayo. I got stuck in the game. And also, keep in mind, Castlevania 3, the American version, is actually a harder version of Castlevania 3 than the Japanese version. Which, the Japanese version, I decided to dedicate my time to. Because, obviously, I like easier experiences, as you guys know. Difficult, I do like my difficult ones, but that's like every now and again. That isn't like every single day type shit, right? So, I got back in it. I bought the Castlevania collection, as you guys know, because I said that on Community Tab Post. And I said, you know what? I want to give Dracula's Curse another try. But this time I want to play it on the Japanese version of the games for those that are purists, those that love more of the traditional Japanese experience. So I experienced the Famicom version, the Japanese version of Castlevania 3. And is there any major differences, like with the OST? Is there anything different? The OST, I'm actually going to compare the two, bro. Here is the OST for the original theme, right? The NES, right? Here's the NES version right now. Right? I'm going to compare OST. Still pretty good for NES. Right? I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. But then you hear Castlevania. Oh, you guys are gonna flip out, bro, when you guys hear it for the Famicom, because there's a difference, and watch. Hear this, and tell me this is not better. Okay, this is an ad, but you get it. I'm sorry, but you listen to that, brother, and go back to the US NES, I don't think I can go back, bro. I remember when I popped that bitch in for the first time, the Japanese version of Castlevania 3, and I'm like, oh, what's so different? Now I understand why some call me Johnny said, yo, Castlevania 3's Japanese soundtrack for the Famicom, that shit hit different. That shit hit real different. Now I'm curious to hear like Super Mario Brothers with the Famicom version and stuff. Does that sound better or a little bit spiced up? But my point is, right, is when I listened to the music and got back into Castlevania 3, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, when I played Castlevania 3, the Japanese version, I completely forgot, like, my original first playthrough of this game when I emulated it. I completely forgot. It felt like I was going into Castlevania 3 for the first time all over again. And now that I have, the first game under my belt, you guys know, the fourth Castlevania game under my belt, one of the Game Boy games for Castlevania under my belt, I felt like I'm more of a Belmont veteran enough to finally tackle Castlevania 3 once again, right? And oh my god, when I got in, I was jamming, bro. I was in there with these beats, by the way. These are Beat Studio 3s, not sponsored, by the way. I have these beats. I had my Switch. I was chilling on my bed over there, just grinding through, listening to Peak. Like, everything was canceled out, and I was just listening to Castlevania. I was listening to music like that, what you guys just listened to. All in here, bro, for a night and a half. It felt so surreal. My experience with Castlevania 3 completely changed. I couldn't hear what Louis was doing. I wasn't disturbed by what he was doing. I was just grinding that game that night I started, which was 2 nights ago, like crazy. I was already going through stages, having so much fun. And by the way, the main character is not Simon. It's actually Trevor Belmont. A Belmont before Simon, a.k.a. this game, Castlevania 3, takes place 100 years before Simon's time being the fucking vampire, being the wielder that slay the vampires and stuff, 100 years before him. So this was the slayer that came back, this was basically kind of some Zelda shit, where it's like, 100 years later, this guy comes, 100 years later, that guy. But unlike Zelda, there's different people, taking the role each time. It isn't like the same dude reincarnated over and over and over again. But anyways, yeah, so I was just enjoying my fucking time, right? I was just enjoying Castlevania 3. I loved it. I was playing Trevor, I was whipping, I was jumping, even though the jump is hella fucking stiff. And I also hate the fact when you go falling down pits. Like, basically, think of all the same problems Castlevania 1 has. Castlevania 3 has them as well. Like, for example, in the US version of Castlevania 3, the one I played before, the Japanese version, you take more damage from enemies. What is it? And it's just a harder experience overall, right? That's, like, the difference, right? But playing the Japanese version, it's still damn hard, but it's not, like, impossible. You know what I mean? It's doable. And I'm not saying Castlevania 3... again, it's like the hardest game ever made, but it's like up there on the NES for a lot of people. But one of the really cool things I loved about Castlevania 3, minus the issues with the staircase and enemies being dickheads with their placement, like, how the fuck am I supposed to avoid this enemy that hit me at my feet? And by the way, knockback is bad, so like when you get hit by an enemy, you go fucking flying like your Mega Man knockback. I'm talking Mega Man 1 knockback in this bitch. So that's all the same. If you don't go up the stairs, and you just fall off to your doom, that happens a lot. But there were some unique changes other than the OST for the Japanese version. I'm not gonna lie, I love so many things about this game anyway. The music was peak. The enemies were really annoying this time around. I don't know if it's because I've taken a break from Castlevania and I keep forgetting like what the enemies were like, but it kind of reminds me of Ninja Gaiden with how bad the enemies are. Like the bats, the hawks, all the fucking hawks. Don't even get me started how they take 4 health points each time they strike your bitch ass. That is annoying. And some of the bosses are also really annoying too, which I am going to show off the bosses for Castlevania 3. I keep thinking Castlevania 4. Castlevania 4 was such a good game. Y'all need to watch that review, by the way. That review of Castlevania that I did, that was peak. But this is also peak too, right? So, one thing that they introduced that I don't think they ever brought back for future Castlevania games is you are allowed to have partners in this game, in this Castlevania game. You are allowed to have more than a few partners, alright? And I kind of want to show you guys the partners, okay? This is the new thing Castlevania 3 introduces, and I like it, alright? So you have dude right here, okay? What he does right here, this dude, he basically throws knives, he has a crazy jump, he can climb walls and appear and fly. I'm sorry, it was right there. I didn't do it. But yeah, he can climb up walls, throw little knives, and his jump is kind of cracked. It's way better. He can jump even higher than Simon. He's pretty acrobatic and stuff, and he's able to do stuff. But his knife throwing skills is pretty weak. but he also has like a lot of speed, so it's kind of needed a trade-off. Or Trevor here, he's basically the same as Simon, how he plays and whatnot. This chick is awesome with her spells. She's able to decimate bosses with her magic spells and kind of make them almost look bitch-made. And then you got Alucard right here. Alucard, look, I haven't played mainly these two, but I remember from Some Call Me Johnny's review, she was cracked, and he was pretty good, but I don't think he was as good as her. She's like the best partner in the game. But like, other than those three, those are your only three partners, by the way. And you also get to choose, another thing you get to do, just like Super Castlevania 4, I think Castlevania 4 did that, or you had stages. You also get to choose which path you want to go. Do you want to take the upper path, or do you want to take the lower path to see another boss, or to go do this first and then go do that next, and whatnot? There's branching paths, so your playthrough is never the same, like over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? It's going to be different because of which path you choose and want to branch off to find this partner, or maybe go find that partner, or maybe go do this path or this level first and then get a partner, or get that partner right now, that partner that you have right with you immediately, grab him, and, you know, and then just continue playing. You can do whatever you fucking want in this game. But another thing that I want to do, I know this review is all over the place, is you can only have one partner at a time, though. So meaning, if you like the dude that throws knives and really fast and acrobatic, but you want to try the magic chick, and you say yes to agreeing to take them along with you, that dude, the little guy, you know, the little knife dude you had earlier, gets swapped out with the magic chick, and then you can change them with the press of a select button, by the way. So once you press select, you know, that's when it's like by the way, welcome Lord Drakon. Let me cosplay Tankman. I know he didn't originate from FNF. But, anyways, like I said, right, there is so much stuff going on, right, in this game. And I'm not going to lie, like, when having all these allies and partners, I'm not going to lie, I'm not used to it. I'm used to what Castlevania is every other game, where it's just the main character, you having to whip or have your special weapon, which you still have to press up, and then the attack button you use, by the way, just to use, like, your axe or holy water or your cross or your, by the way, cross, one of the best weapons. And, but anyways, let me show you guys the boss battles, right, of Castlevania 3, because, like I said, Castlevania 3 is pretty much like Castlevania 1, but plays a little bit better, depending on which version you play. It is harder, right, harder or a little easier. All bosses. Let me do, all bosses, yeah, not NES, Famicom, because I think NES, I don't think NES really misses out on a boss battle. But the sprites do look a little bit... But anyways, fuck it. Let me just show you all the bosses, right? I'm going to show you guys all the bosses in this game so you guys can get a better idea, right? I love the beginning of Castlevania 3 when you open the game. And Trevor's like, we gotta go do this. So cool. Skull Knight, this guy was annoying, but not as bad on your first try as you might think, because you do fight Skull Knight again. Right now, he just jumps around and kind of hits you with the sword maybe once or twice, but he doesn't have like any other projectiles other than that. Very easy boss. Mediocre. Right? Nasty Grant, this dude was annoying mainly because of placement and him jumping after you and him going on walls and stuff. But if you know how to avoid him, he's not bad. Right? Cyclops. With Cyclops, all you can do is only hit him in the head for damage. Right? And he also has a giant mallet he carries around so he can beat your ass with it. That's pretty much all he does. The giant bat. I hated the giant bat. Mainly because every time you hit them, they spread out multiple times if you don't have the right sub-weapon up there to deal the killing blow on this boss. Right? And it just gets harder from there, so you gotta hit them like instantly / immediately to get the job done. I struggled on that one for a long time. First time after all. Medusa. I think I skipped Medusa. Yeah, I didn't fight Medusa. I don't think Medusa's in the original or in the FC version. I think we skipped Medusa, but I do remember this. There actually is differences because in the Famicom version, there's actually 3 tombstones actually for this boss. This boss has 3 different tombstones, and the game looks actually a little bit better. So there is a little bit of a difference now looking at it and stuff. But when doing the mummies and Cyclops, I really hated that little boss. It may be easier in NES, but like, I'm not gonna lie, the Famicom version actually added more of a boss fight for this. Also, I don't think I fought Alucard. But no, I did. Alucard was actually a pain in the dick to fight a little bit because you have to keep jumping around and only hit his head. I don't know why people's heads are weaknesses in this game, but I remember when I was fighting Alucard, I was kind of struggling, dude, with Trevor. I kept calling him Simon because I'm used to Simon. But anyways, the Skull Knight, this also kind of pissed me off because I was low HP. But those bones are fucking annoying and they actually have tracking capabilities. So I was struggling on this boss for quite a while. Frankenstein creature. I remember I only fought one Frankenstein. And yes, Frankenstein does exist in Castlevania. This takes place in like a world of... If you ever played Castlevania, you would know. Like since Dracula exists, all the big monsters exist. Like Medusa, Frankenstein, all the motherfuckers. And Frankenstein, what he does is he slams his foot down, slamming down bricks at you to do damage and all that. That's what he does. Not that bad. Water dragons? Yeah, I don't remember fighting that one. I think... Oh, and also, you know what? I just realized this. Because I avoided a lot of paths, I think the Famicom version of the game also... Depending on your path and your choices, you can either avoid certain boss fights that I have noticed. You can avoid certain boss fights altogether. But depending on the path that you choose, right? Which is actually really fucking awesome. Because, like, for example, like the dummies, the Cyclops, and the Leva, like, I noticed that there's different versions of the same bosses that I just talked about. And it's actually really cool because that means in my playthrough, I did a really good job without knowing I did a good job because I skipped a good portion of the bosses here. So my pathways that I was choosing without even knowing so, I was choosing the right paths to take so I can avoid a lot of the bosses, which is amazing. But, I gotta be real with you guys. This ad is also a boss fight. I'm just kidding. But no. Yep, when I made it here, I cried inside because I was like, wait a minute. Not you again! If you guys remember Castlevania 4, I fucking died at this dude every goddamn time. And also, when you die, you go all the way the fuck back. Thank God I got save states in this Castlevania Legacy Collection or collection stuff. I love the save states and stuff. But don't worry, I'm not save stating like 24/7 in these boss fights, sometimes. But this fucking dude with his goddamn fucking sights and don't get me wrong, I haven't been playing Castlevania for years, okay? So I just now played Castlevania like literally earlier this year, okay? So don't come at me saying, oh wow, you barely dealt with the Grim Reaper and you're still shit at fighting him. Yes! Okay, I will admit, I am shit at fighting the Grim Reaper and most bosses in Castlevania because I don't have prior experience to fighting them other than, you know, what I just did. And I know, Castlevania, but literally Castlevania 4, you fought the Grim Reaper in that game, Alan. So what's so bad about Castlevania 3's Grim Reaper? Oh, well, let me tell you, the sides have different spawn points! When I tell you the sides have different spawn points, I literally mean that. They'll be like in one area 1 minute, and then they'll despawn once you hit them, and then they'll spawn again in a different place. Sometimes it can be right under your bitch ass, sometimes it can be right above you, sometimes it can be a little bit to the left, and keep in mind, Simon has a shitty jump. If Simon jumps, he's jumping all the way over there until you fucking get hit by something, or you actually make the jump, or just fall in a pit. So there's no type of reactionary jump where you can jump and then turn around. No. I mean, not Simon. I keep saying Simon because I'm so used to Simon. But I mean Richter, right? Or not Richter. Trevor. Goddamn. Okay, I mean Trevor, right? So you can't just jump like in these Castlevania games. You can't just jump, right? You can't jump and be like, okay, you know how like New Super Mario Brothers, where sometimes if there's a small platform, I jump and then turn around to give myself safety on that jump? That shit does not exist for the fucking Belmonts. You are literally sitting there having to commit to every jump, to every crouch, to every whip attack. You have to commit. And let me tell you, committing against that fucking Grim Reaper thing is a fucking death sentence 9 times out of 10. And you better have the right sub-weapon, otherwise you're getting anal by the Grim Reaper, bro. I swear to God, it was so bad dealing with the Grim Reaper. Gotta go. See you next stream. Alright, Lord Dracula, thank you so much for coming. Oh, and what's worse than that? The double ganger. Right? So you're sitting there like, okay, this boss shouldn't be that bad. No, the double ganger. Let me tell you why the double ganger can be really good or really bad depending on your playstyle, right? If you have any weapon in your sub shit, right? Let's say this, you have holy water. The double ganger is going to use whatever you have against you. And that's why I say it's so bad. Because I had the double cross. Okay? So I was fucked. Because he can also throw 2 crosses, but then that means his HP, if I'm able to hit him and able to avoid his attacks, he'll get damage times 2. Or times a lot, because the cross does a lot of damage, right? Fuck no! That thing, oh by the way, he can jump, he can do all the same things Trevor can. So he's slow and bulky like Trevor. You try to switch to your partner. That partner's double ganger is going to, the double ganger is also going to transform into your partner. So you can't even be, it's not even just Trevor against Trevor and your partner. It's the double ganger being able to shapeshift into you and your partner. So you don't have like that advantage of having one extra character over them. Or your sub-weapon. I mean, you can use your sub-weapon against him, but you get my point, right? It's you and your sub-weapon against you and your sub-weapon as the double ganger. And I remember, when I fought up against the double ganger, I got anal so many times. I was there for more than 30 minutes. And you know what makes it worse, actually? So, yesterday, I was, in party with Renee YT during all of this. And Jem. Jem was just on the side, right? And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, Ronnie was really wanting food. He was really hungry, so I had to give him some dough. But I'm not going to lie, trying to deal with the Grim Reaper with Renee in my ear talking about how hungry he is and shit and whatever. I tried my best not to let it distract me, but there were times where I just really wanted to be like, I want to leave the party so fucking badly because it was annoying the fuck out of me. And usually Ronnie's stuff never bugs me whenever I'm playing something, but I'm not gonna lie, I was getting stressed out. I was getting all sorts of feelings and all sorts of shit. All sorts of new feelings were popping out of my system, right? When dealing with Castlevania 3, the Double Ganger, the Grim Reaper, and arguably some stages too, during all of that. It was so fucking annoying dealing with all of that, when I was already dealing with whatever Castlevania stuff was going on, right? So that didn't help. That was also really bugging the shit out of me. Right? At the time. Obviously it doesn't bug me anymore, but at that moment I can't lie and say it wasn't bugging the shit out of me. And I know Renee's watching, so now he knows, but that's my point, right? It was bugging me with everything. Not just about the food, but everything was bugging me, right? Everything was bugging the shit out of me. But now we get to the final boss of the game. Right? You head up them stairs, them legendary stairs. You already know who the fuck it is. Once you walk in, Dracula himself, baby. Fuck Dracula's base, man. Those fire pillars are so annoying. Totally didn't remind me of Sephiroth from KH2 or KH1 when you do the secret boss or the sub-boss. Didn't remind me of that in any way. Or, I don't know, Flame Man from Mega Man 6 with the little fire pillars and shit. So you have Phase 1, which he's a problem, which he always warps around. Then you have Phase 2, which also was a goddamn bitch. He turns into this weird fucking monstrosity-looking thing that you just hit over and 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 over again until it dies. And he doesn't do much in that. But this, a 3-phase Dracula fight, man. Because keep in mind, Dracula only had 1 to 2 phases every other game, at least to my memory, because I don't remember Castlevania 4. It's been quite a while since I played Castlevania 4. So seeing that I needed to do this, I need to switch to Eddie, because I feel like Simon was too slow and all that shit, right? I was like, dude, no way. How am I going to do this? And the laser in the English version, keep in mind, is so much bigger than the Japanese. The Japanese is smaller, actually, than the laser. And by the way, the lasers come out of his hands and his eyes, so it's not just that, right? But dealing with this, I remember I was like, oh, fuck, Eddie. I called him Eddie at the time, but it's the little knife dude that I was talking about earlier, little knife dude. You know? Madeline, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a bit. How you doing? Right? I dealt with that final boss. I killed him. I murked him. And then this happens, right? The ending of the game, right? The castle goes down. I know I'm using somebody else's video because I didn't record my own footage. And yes, this is the thumbnail. And yes, the Enchantress chick is revealed to be a girl later on. But, yeah, you know, shit like that happens. I guess they really wanted to pull that Metroid Prime. Or not the Metroid. They wanted to pull Metroid where it's like, actually, like, Samus, look, I'm not a dude. You can't tell I'm a dude. Oh, yeah, I'm a guy, by the way. Or I'm a girl. Boom. They wanted to pull that Metroid shit that Metroid pulled all those years ago in, like, Metroid 1, I think. But anyways, this game was really difficult. It's like, I don't know how to feel, right? Because I remember once I finished Castlevania 3, it really reminded me of Castlevania 1, because the gameplay is the same, where you got to get your upgrades for your whip. You know, all the same issues I had in Castlevania 1. Like, for example, going up and down stairs is awful in the game. You can use your sub-weapons and hit things, but it's not that good, and enemies have dickhead placements like usual. Really, the only things that were really new were, like, obviously the partners and the branching paths. That was, like, some of the biggest things, because I think, other than Mega Man, I think Castlevania was, like, one of the other games that also did the branching paths. Actually, no, I think it was Metroid, Mega Man, and Castlevania were some of the few games along the NES lineup that allowed you to have branching paths and whatnot, which I thought was really cool in this game. Good, you looking spiffy today, lol. Thank you. I don't know what spiffy means. I'm watching you stream and putting together a puzzle, laughing my ass off. Oh, a puzzle? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, actually. I enjoyed Christmas, got some new beats. I got this literally yesterday. This hoodie thing my dad gave me. So this is really cool. Actually really, really cool. I actually am digging it a lot. I don't know why, but I'm just digging it. But, yeah, and then I got some other shit, like some One Piece manga. I love puzzles, man. I wish I loved puzzles. Maybe if I wasn't exposed to them 24/7 in my platformers, I probably would like them more. But, because, you know, usually, you know me, I like the main game, beginning, middle to end, you know what I mean? So, like, throwing a puzzle in there is just kind of weird. But, for me anyway, in terms of in-game. I don't know about a puzzle, like, outside of that. It's been a while. It's okay, I got 3 pairs of Christmas pajamas. Hey, 3 pairs of Christmas pajamas? That's what's up. Hey, you're about to be snug all day. But, back to what I was saying. I'm about to end this one, since this one wasn't that long. Yeah, it's like, think of Castlevania 1, but, like, with partners. And if you're playing the Japanese version of the game, the music's slightly different. Graphics maybe look a little bit better, like a smidge better, because it is Famicom. Or maybe they look the same, and maybe it's just the Castlevania collection making it look better, because I know, like, collections like to make their old games, like, look better and whatnot, and so on and so forth, so, you know. But, yeah, this was a solid, fun adventure, though there were a lot of times that pissed me off. A lot of times that pissed me off. But you know what? I'm glad I gave Castlevania 3 another chance. You know? Because I knew Castlevania 3 was gonna be, like, was the Castlevania that I like to play. Because, you know, Castlevania 2, that game exists. I don't know what's going on with me in 2s this year, but I don't like Castlevania 2 all that much. I tried it again because I got the collection recently, and I still don't like that game. But Castlevania 3, it's good. It's going to make you want to pull your hair out at times, but it's good. It's not a bad video game. I don't think it's bad. You know, and you obviously have save states in the collection, so I just recommend buy the Castlevania collection, so you get Castlevania 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and then some Game Boy games, and then Kid Dracula, a game they didn't throw in there. And then you can play them emulated, you know, emulated console experience, which I definitely recommend. That's how everyone should start out Castlevania, instead of whipping out the good old NES or the good old Famicom if you have the Japanese, and run up on original hardware. I mean, shit, if you want the authentic experience, go ahead. But that price range for them copies, over $100+, forget that. I'd recommend you emulate it on your phone or whatever and get a Bluetooth controller. Or I'd recommend getting the Castlevania collections. I would recommend the Castlevania collections so, like, Konami, the people who made the games and shit, they can get that dough. They can get that bread from Castlevania, you know? So that way we can get a new Castlevania game one day, you know? And, yeah, by the way, I know I'm going to take my time with Castlevania games, because, this was stressful as fuck. And, you guys know how I am with stress. Pretty bad at managing that. So, yeah, that's why I'm going to take a break. Maybe a BBS stream either tomorrow or the day after that, because there's a new Ichigo unit coming out, and I am going to summon for him. So, but anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow with some brand new Peak. I don't know if I'm going to, oh, actually, I am going to be uploading shorts, so you guys will get Daima episode 11 short, and then, after that, yeah, maybe some more shorts or something. I don't know if I'll stream again. Probably will, probably won't. I have no idea. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share the video with your friends, and let me know what you guys think of Castlevania 3. Do you guys like it? Do you guys like Castlevania 2 more? I don't know how you'd like Castlevania 2 more than Castlevania 3, but it's whatever. But anyways, deuces.